Hey guys, we're going to look at a release from Hasbro that has left me and maybe pretty much everybody that does Star Wars 3 3/4 scratching their heads. We've got details on the Crait 4-pack that shows what 4 figures come in it. So we've got a repack of Rey with a slightly different paint deco. She's got some salt on her boots. We have got a goofy looking, not Imperial, First Order gunner, which has a humongous helmet. It's just absurd, which has nothing to do with the Battle of Crait. We have got Rose in a poncho, and then we have got a snowtrooper in a paint scheme that, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, we have never seen before. Snowtroopers are on Crait for about 12 seconds, maybe if that, and they don't do anything. So maybe these aren't snowtroopers, maybe these are salt troopers, but I think they clearly messed up with that paint job. So I just think that this is screaming out that there is truly a problem between Hasbro, between Disney, between Lucasfilm, between the whole thing, with all of the secrecy involved, with what can be made into toys and when, what collectors, what fans truly want, because nobody wants this. I have no doubt in my mind that there's nobody out there that wants this. I don't want to pay full price for this. I am interested in the Snowtrooper just because it looks cool, but at the same time, I don't know that it's true to the source material. If it is, it's almost unrecognizable. Despite the fact that it may have a cool look, I think the problem lies in the fact that that should have been the ATM6 driver, which has a slightly similar paint scheme. It has the gray stripe on the helmet, which makes sense. So maybe it should have been that figure. Rey, again, has some salt on her boots. I can almost understand her as a repack, but again, I don't need another Rey figure. She's on Crait for about, a minute, and that's about it. I think the gunner is kind of goofy. I get why we're getting him, and I can support that as a figure, but I think it's goofy looking, and Rose is just a mess. Say what you will about the movie, say what you will about the Rose character, the pegs have shown us that nobody wants her. She's a boring figure, and this is an even more boring figure, and I'm really curious to see what is actually underneath those, the poncho. Is it the same figure we've already got with a ugly piece of plastic covering it? If it is, that's just more, insult to injury. But I think there is a humongous disconnect here because of the fact that there has to be so much secrecy with this line now. No one knows what's coming, when it's coming. Hasbro doesn't know what they're allowed to make, when they're allowed to make it. This pack could have been something great. There is a specific moment in the battle on Crait that needs to be made into figure form, and I was discussing this with a good friend of mine in regards to what should be in this pack, and it's painfully obvious. There is room for 2 repacks and 2 new figures. The 2 new figures should be the ATM6 driver, not a weird looking snowtrooper, the Luke projection, because let's be clear, I think it's easy to say for myself and pretty much anybody else that collects this line, we would love to have that figure. I am all about a younger old Luke. I think a middle-aged Luke is exactly what I need right now. And then the 2 repacks could be Kylo and Rey with some salt on them. That would be fine. Give them a little bit of a different paint deco, but have the same figures to save production costs. Give us the 2 figures that make sense, and then be done with it. But this box is just stupid. No one is going to pay $25 or however much it is. I believe it's $25. No one's going to want to pay that. I'm not paying for it. I'm not going to buy it when it comes out. The collector in me says, yeah, get it. It's new. But there's just no point. I don't need an ugly Rose figure. I don't need that particular Rey. And I don't need the goofy gunner, and I don't need the weird snowtrooper. I don't need them that badly that I'm going to pay full price. So I'm really curious who out there is going to buy this thing. I have a feeling we're waiting for some serious clearance to go for this particular set. But this is the sign that there is way too much secrecy here. This should have been the way that we get the Luke projection figure. I think it could have been really good. The 5 POA line has been pretty solid for Last Jedi so far in terms of overall quality. People clearly aren't really buying it just because the pegs are pretty much full wherever I go, and I'm already seeing stuff on clearance. But that's a different story. This pack though is just an absolute mess. I think Hasbro were really screwed up here, and whether it's their fault or not, ultimately they're the one putting the toy out. So this just goes to show that there is definitely a disconnect between the fans and Hasbro, between Hasbro and Lucasfilm, between Lucasfilm and Disney, and everything. The secrecy needs to stop, really, and this pack could have been something great. I know it's just a 3 3/4 inch set, but I had to say something. I'm really curious, is anybody that watched this video, are you going to buy this thing? Are you going to buy it full price? Or are you going to wait to go on clearance? So yeah, that's it. I just had to say it, get it out there. Curious on other people's thoughts regarding this set. So rant over. See you later, guys.